So, hi everyone. Welcome to my world, I can say. So, I'm gonna start this, small TED Talk thing by answering the question of this contest, which is it being magical when we do not have to answer all the questions in the 20s? Okay, not gonna lie, but I have a different approach for this question. So instead of answering it, I'll just kind of make a small rebuttal point into the topic. So technically, answering all questions is not really possible, even for adults. Human beings are born with, you know, the ability to question. So if everything has its answer, it won't be life. And not having the answer is the normal thing. So whether or not you answer all the questions or not, okay, all with the catastrophe right here. Because, as I said, if you answer all, it won't be life. So first of all, it's not about the 20s. Whether you are a child, whether you are in the 20s, whether you're 70s or 80s, it doesn't matter if you can or cannot answer. So what is more important than that? So to continue, I'll have a little demonstration right here. So we, Gen Z, often faced with tons of questions. Of course, we didn't have to answer it. But yeah, because we are in the middle of life, like the transition between doing nothing to got stumbled up with tons of work and career stuff. So I'm gonna explain you why we often feel pressure about questions. So first of all, let's take a look at where question really from. Okay? So actually the question is from the society. Okay? I'll just note it right here, the society. And so why do we feel pressure about that? So for example, somebody asks you, what is your career? What are you going to do with your life? Okay, what is your value? Something? Do you intend to marry? Have kids? Are you going to move somewhere or open a business? How long does it take to buy a house? Blah, 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 blah. All those kind of questions. And if you notice, those questions are often from adults, from our adults, who have been struggling a lot to buy a house in their 50s or 60s, like my parents. So first of all, the questions are often from the society. It can be from people who are older than us or the same age as us, or we can also call it peer pressure. So why do people do that? For example, you have a friend, namely person A. Okay, he's your friend or maybe a stranger or some TikToker on the internet. He looks up to person A plus, who has more financial life than him, a more higher stage of education than himself, and also person A looks down to person A minus, who has everything beneath your friend. So what does it do with us? Okay, so this is how person A looks to the society by comparing himself or herself to the higher person and the lower person than himself. He will try to ask questions to a random person in order to confirm that his visualization of the society is right, and also about whether his position in the society is high enough or not. For example, this is us, a friend of us, just come across and say, oh hey, what is your your intention for the next 2 years? Because blah blah blah, I've been cooperating with some big companies, Jack Ma or Steven Spielberg or something is my model, and also I can see a lot of people who have been working under my company, blah blah blah. It's not everyone like that, but it's general. And then they will try to question us because they want to know us is in which state in their scale, and that's all. They just want to ask for themselves. So basically, the question that we receive is not really for us to develop. It's just for themselves to know where they are. So it has nothing to do with us, and we just like passively receive the questions. So that's why we feel pressure. See, there is no arrow moving back. Okay. So if we do not want to receive the questions, so what do? Reject it? Not really, because psychologically proven we cannot reject something because it often brought us to something called the rejection of the world, and we isolate ourselves. And isolation is not a good thing, everyone. So I suggest another alternative way to do this. So I would call this the cycle of questions. Okay, so imagine questions are often based in like two categories. One in relationship, and the other one is job. So why they are connected? So if you have relationship, by somehow a job will come. It is proven that most of my friends, they find a job not because they apply into a company, but through relationship. Then they find a job. For example, my friend, they work as teaching assistant in centers, and then like some students like her, and she invited them to her house, and she got free tutor. So that's how it works. And for having a job, you might have more relationship from your colleagues. And this is the external crisis that we have, in my opinion. And this cycle determines your value, because if, for example, your value, like if you like animals, you work in some sort of you develop friendship with pet lovers, and then you maybe they suggest you some jobs, animal taker. Or if you are an introvert and you like writing, you create relationships with writers, and then you become a writer, and then vice versa. Okay, so this is how you will handle the questions. Like instead of like taking them in, you convert them into this. So it starts with relationship. So my advice for everything, for all your problem, is that you focus on, develop you. Like these relationships should not be fake. It should be authentic by like you dive deep into yourself. Okay, you know what you did in the past is right. You know what makes you happy, and then you develop the relationship with those people who are in the same frequency with you, and then you got a job, and then problem solved. You don't need to hear the questions. So talking about you, so I'm gonna end this short presentation right here. So it's about finding you and value, and your value, by looking at past, present, and future. So this is the process. You receive the questions, okay? You don't really look at this, and then you convert to this, and then you find your value. So how? So I want you to do this yourself, because everyone is different. So a small exercise for you. So we have past, present, and future. I don't review the answer. And the question for you, like you should pay attention on this question instead of this, is that do you happy? Do you happy? Okay? And find yourself an answer by reflecting to past, present, and future. But remember, it has to be authentic. Okay, it has to be real. So past, present, and future. Which one is what we can control and which one we cannot control? And do you want to be happy in the past, the present, or the future? And which one is the strongest? Thank you.